Are you thinking about selling here in Virginia and you're worried about the costly renovations that you might have to go through? Trust me, you're not alone. My name is Quann. I'm an associate broker here in Virginia. And today we're gonna go over a few small fixes that you can go through that really set the stage to sell your house properly. All right, so we need to set the scene a little bit. I want you to be in the buyer's shoes. You're walking up to your own house, and what are the first things you're gonna pay attention to? Is the lawn run down? Is the paint peeling? Is the door off its hinges? Is the doorbell even broken? If we see deferred maintenance before we even get into the house, that's gonna set the tone that there's other things that have been deferred on this house. So there's two ways to go about it. Obviously, we can do a full renovation job that's gonna cost you thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. Now, as of 2024, the average remodel for a kitchen was almost $80,000. And it could range, even lower levels, say $27,000 to the high-end houses that are $150,000 for the kitchen. So with all that being said, I don't want you to focus on those major expensive remodels and renovations. You could do things like quick paint touch-ups, lighting fixtures, doorknobs, cabinet hardware, some flooring. And not only is it gonna make the house look a lot better, you're gonna feel really good about knocking out those little touches because they are gonna make the house pop. But if I had to pick three different areas for you to tackle, it's gonna be these. Curb appeal. Curb appeal is gonna be one of the biggest things. I have literally had buyers that got out of the car and said, nope, we don't want to go look at this house. Let's go look at the next one. So setting the stage as we're pulling in the driveway really goes far in your bottom dollar on the final offer that you get. Now we're in Virginia. We have very distinct seasons. So landscaping usually goes a long ways and the details really matter. So let's think mulch, trimming bushes, weeding, power washing your house is a big one, especially in wooded lots. Cleaning leaves up, making sure your driveway is blown off, making sure all the sticks are picked up in the yard, making sure that front door is cleaned, because that's the first thing we're gonna be opening up as real estate agents, bringing our clients through. I wanna set you in another set of shoes. Think you're walking into a model house at a new construction. What do you recognize? Not only is everything brand new, don't get me wrong there, but it's staged so well. And half of the reason is because no one's living there and it's just decluttered. It's everything spaced properly. And something I recommend on almost every listing appointment that I go on is declutter your house, especially if you're gonna move. Think about it. All that stuff's either gonna have to get thrown away or packed away and put in the boxes and moved. So why not just go ahead and knock it out now and live like you're in a model home? Now, I do wanna say, that's only for like the listings and showings and marketing. Once we go under contract, you can be a little bit more free and actually live in your house again. And if we do our job properly, it's not gonna be that long of a process. But decluttering and depersonalizing your house goes a long ways. Now in depersonalizing your house, that could mean your family photos or something that's off the wall with your pets. But also, just because you're a Dallas fan and you painted a whole room blue, doesn't mean everybody's gonna love that. Go for neutral colors if we're gonna paint and just try to tone everything down neutral because we're trying to go to all the buyers. Remember, if we have 10 buyers that are showing the house, we wanna appeal to almost everybody. We don't wanna appeal just to like 2 or 3 of them because they happen to be Dallas fans as well. So really take that to heart. If you're gonna not bring it to your next house, let's go ahead and get rid of it. Even if I have to bring in a dumpster for you, I will do that. That way you can start getting rid of some stuff. When we walk into a bedroom, what do we wanna see? We don't wanna see that you have 3 dressers. We don't wanna see a pile of stuff on top of your dresser. Think bed, again, think back to your model house, bed, 2 side dressers and a dresser and a TV. That's pretty much it. We don't wanna see all these crazy area rugs and just all sorts of crazy stuff. It just declutters it and it makes the client have a hard time envisioning themselves living in that room because you have your personal touch on it. Now, if you are gonna spend some money on remodels, there's really 2 areas, kitchen and bathrooms. That's all that really matters to many buyers. There's not much we can do about the floor plan, right? We can't just start adding on to additions and closets and stuff like that. But if you are gonna spend some money, kitchens and bathrooms go a long ways. Now, in bathrooms, we can run LVP pretty cheap. And that would give it new flooring. You could buy vanities and toilets pretty cheap from Home Depot. Those are very easy fixes along with mirrors and lighting fixtures that would really set that bathroom off. With the kitchen, it can get more expensive. Cabinets you can spend a stupid amount of money on. Sometimes just bringing new hardware into those kitchen cabinets really make it pop. Now you can also refinish the cabinets and they can be done really well. I've done them myself. They are a little labor intensive, but I've seen it the other way as well, where homeowners did it and they didn't know what they're doing. And you could just tell we're done by a homeowner. We'll leave it at that. So if you're gonna decide to do the cabinets, make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you do a little bit of homework on it. It's not as easy as just painting. You gotta strip them down, take the hardware off, take the doors off, paint everything proper, and you can put them back together with some new hardware, and it could really help with that kitchen. Granite's actually not that big of a addition when you're talking about money. Sometimes you can get away with doing all your kitchen counters for just a couple $1,000s. It could be something to really set off your kitchen. Now, if you are going appliances, sometimes you need to look at some scratch and dent. Not saying anything's wrong with that refrigerator or that stove, but sometimes they'll have a scratch on the back or the side where in your house, it will actually be up against the wall, so it doesn't really matter. And you can get good savings on those appliances. You can also add things like a backsplash to really offset, but again, kind of try to keep it neutral. Recaulking and regrouting is another good thing that you can do to really clean that kitchen up and give everything a kind of fine lines. And the last thing, again, lighting fixtures. Those old, early 2000s builder grade lighting, those don't fly these days. It's very easy. You can buy even contractor today standard light packs and get an electrician to put them in just for a couple $100 and really make all the lighting, one, brighter, which is great for lighting, but also just look a lot better. And then I always recommend maybe just hiring a handyman, kind of going through the property and just doing little touch up, what we call punch out list on new construction, but just going through and making sure all the faucets are fixed and they're not leaking. Make sure the doors are hung and they're closing properly and they're not closing by themselves. Replacing air filters, getting that HVAC cleaned and serviced. That way you have a bill of health sitting right there on the countertop. Always makes buyers feel pretty good. Checking smoke alarms. Nothing's more annoying than me going to show a house and that smoke alarm's beeping in the background the whole time we're there. So once all these minor fixes are done, I'm gonna highly recommend we highlight them in the listing photos. Good lighting and angles really matter, and a good photographer really matters. Don't let your agent get away with taking cell phone photos. I know our cell phones have come a long ways, but professional cameras and professional photographers are just so much better at making sure to show off your house right. And so once we do the exterior with some curb appeal, we do the interior with a little light touch, bring it all together with those photos, videos, Matterport 3D tours, and it will bring all that marketing together once we actually hit the market. Of course, if you're looking in this area, I have great contacts for everything we just mentioned, but I do always recommend, if you're in a different state, reaching out to your realtor that sold your house. More than likely they have some pretty good contacts as well for handyman, electricians, landscapers, just a little bit of everything. There's not anything on a house that I don't have a person for at this point in time. Being 12 years in the business, I've ran into many great contractors and some not so great that aren't on my vendor list. So if all this is a little overwhelming and you decide you want to have more of a professional's opinion, reach out to me. I'll be happy to come out to your house before we list and walk you through everything and have a seller consultation with you and kind of explain what I would be looking for if we decide to list the house. So selling your home in Virginia doesn't mean you have to remodel the house and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, because you more than likely will never get that back. But some small little tweaks can actually go a long ways to make you more money in the long run. If you found this helpful, check out my last video where I actually go through real estate listings and show you what I'm looking for to kind of give you some more insights while you browse the market. And then stick around for next week, because we're going to be talking about what is the best time to buy a house in Virginia. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.